So today we're going to work on practice test 83, game 4. So it should be about, let me pull up the topic. It should be about like an environmental consultant. Let me know if that's right, because I'm using a different source this time and I want to know if I'm using the right one. So, okay, cool. That's great then, actually. So, all right, let's see. So today we have, it looks like we only have 2 today. So, but how are you both doing? How's studying going? Fair. All right. Does somebody want to read this stimulus and this kind of game? You guys both have it up?
I'm sorry, is this section 2 of that practice test?
It could be section 1, I think. So it should
Okay.
be like game 4. It's like question 18. Does that look right to you, Josh?
Okay, yeah, this looks right.
Does it talk about an environmental consultant?
Yes, this is the one. Thank you.
Cool, perfect. I'm not using LawHub today. I'm using a different website, so we'll see if it works. So, all right. So I'll start off. I guess I can read it first, then we can go from there. So this game starts with an environmental consultant will examine the air quality on 8 floors of an office tower, the first floor to the 8th floor. Each floor will be examined on one of 4 consecutive days: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with exactly 2 floors being examined on each day. The following conditions apply. On any given day, the 2 floors examined must be separated by at least 1 floor. The second floor must be examined on an earlier day than the 8th floor. The third floor must be examined on an earlier day than the 7th floor. The 7th floor must be examined on an earlier day than the 5th floor. The 4th floor must be examined on either Thursday or Friday. Okay. So one main difference I think in this game is it's kind of interesting because it's our game pieces are actually numbers, which is something you don't really see that often. You normally see your game pieces being like Bob, Jim, Sally, like stuff like that. But in this game, you have 8 floors you're sorting into Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'm gonna give you all a couple minutes to kind of diagram it, and go ahead and let me know when you guys finish diagramming it, doing your initial diagram and your initial rules and all that. And then if you're lost or have any questions, feel free to reach out. So I think there's kind of ways you can really approach this one. I'll also, while you guys are drawing your own. I think some people actually, I think there's one way that people can make a big mistake on this one, as far as putting like 1 through 8. Like, let me draw it real quick. As far as like this thing you really don't want to do, because I think it leads to way more confusing. So this is one where actually labeling your game pieces is very important. So let's say I try to do 1, 2, 3. Let me share my screen real quick. So if I try to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think this would get super confusing personally, right? Do you both agree? Yeah, so if I did this, right, and I went, okay, this one's on Wednesday, but then this one's on Thursday, like that just get too much. So that's why I think you should start with the days of the week first. So have kind of like I'll kind of show you all my setup. So this is what I did. Is this what either of you all did? Josh, Thomas. So like this.
Sort of. I
Yeah.
didn't do the like larger brackets that you do,
Yeah.
but the lines are the same idea.
Yeah. So did you do like the break into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday kind of thing?
Yes.
And then you did the lines between kind of 2 spots in each. And up here for my game pieces, even though we kind of do that, I just put that so people realize that's what I'm doing. So I'm putting these into there. So to diagram the rules, the first rule, no consecutive days, was kind of hard to diagram because it was basically saying, or no consecutive floors. on any given day, the two floors examined must be separated by at least one other floor. It's really, I just kind of thought to myself, okay, so I know if I have I can't have a 3 and a 4 together, right? I can't have, like, if there's a 3 in a room, I can't have 2 and 4 in the same day. Think of on Thursday, I have 4, I can't have 5 or 3 that day. So I just put no consecutive to kind of keep track of that in my rules. Rule two says 2s floor 2s come before floor 8. Rule 3 says 3s come before 7, which, and then rule 4 says 7s come before 5. So you can have the 3, 7, 5 chain in there, right? And we know 4 equals Thursday or Friday, which is interesting because they gave us 4 being in the middle 2 blocks, right? So is this kind of how you guys diagrammed your game and your rules?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, let's kind of go over some deductions you make then really quickly. So I see, okay, I know we have this 3, 7, 5 chain here, so that's my deductions based off that, right? So first of all, 4 equals T and F. So I just put 4 has to be either here or here. 4 can't be on Saturday or Wednesday, right? So I immediately cross those off. I also know that 8 can't be first because there has to be a 2 before it. I know 2 can't be last because there has to be an 8 after it, right? So I put those 2 in there. Next, because we know we have the 3, 7, 5 block when we heard deductions based on that. So I know 7 can't be first because there has to be a 3 before it. 7 can't be last because there has to be a 5 after it. So here I know 7 has to also be either Thursday or Friday, like rule 5, right? So did that make sense to both of you guys? Cool. Next we'll go, obviously 5 can't be first then, because there has to be a 3 and 7 before it, and 3 can't be last because there's a 7, 5 after it. And we also know that 5 can't be Thursday because there has to be a 3 and a 7 before it. And the only reason we know, if it was just 3 and 7 before 5, then it could both be 3 and 7 on Wednesday, because we know it has to be a 3, then a 7, then a 5 in consecutive days. We know that 5 cannot be Thursday and 3 cannot be Friday. So we know 3 has to show up either Wednesday or Tuesday, and 5 has to show up either Friday or Saturday. And that's important for the first question. So I'm going to give you all a minute to figure out this first question. And the first question basically says, it's kind of like a grab rule. It's, which one of the following assignments of floors to the first 2 days could be a part of an acceptable schedule for all 4 days? So go through this one kind of like you normally would with the grab rule. Let me know if you have any questions about it. Basically, use the rules, apply them to each of these answer choices, and go from there. If that sounds good to you both, let me know when you all are finished. All right. What did you guys both get?
I got E.
Yeah, that's a quick answer. How did you get there? Okay, E2. All right, sounds good. How'd you all like? Do you want to explain your process, Thomas, or do you want me to go through it?
Sure. It's just I did it in a very basic way, not really being used to logic games. I just went through the rules and eliminated the questions that broke the rules. The most complex problem was the problem with letter D. The first 3 I eliminated quickly. I realized that with the layout it has, it doesn't allow for 3, 7, 5 to be positioned after each other because it just doesn't leave 3 slots for them.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah. So I'd say, so basically, kind of what I do here is say, okay, rule 1, right, eliminates B because you have second and third floor together on Thursday, right? Rule 2 eliminated A, I'd say, right? Probably. Let's see. Rule 2 eliminated A, where we had second floor must be examined on the 8th floor, but here we have first floor, third floor. All right. Rule 2. Rule 2 must be examined on earlier day than 8th floor. Here we have 8th floor on Thursday, but there's nothing on Wednesday, right? So we eliminate those 2 very easily. Next, rule 3, which says the third floor must be examined on an earlier day than 7th floor, right? This we talk about on D. We know that here we have second floor, 6th floor, 4th floor, 8th floor. But in this case, we wouldn't have. We know that floor 3 needs to be in Wednesday or Thursday in one of these cases. So that eliminates D. And then if you look at C, we see there's no fourth floor on Thursday. The fourth floor is on Wednesday, so we know that one's wrong. Is that how you got that too, Josh?
Yes. So actually, usually for these type of questions, I'm able to use the rules and see which answer choices broke them. For D, I actually had to write it down quickly to find out that it broke the 375 rule.
I agree. I think this is one you can kind of see in the deductions, but it's a little bit of a hard to grab rule one. So I do agree that this one's not one that traditionally like you'd think in this one, D would be like have a 7th floor and a 3rd floor answer, right? But it actually makes you make deductions. So I would say this is one of the harder starting questions you'd get. Does that make sense, Thomas? Normally they're a little easier than this one.
Yeah, usually they wouldn't have you make the deduction based on the 375. I've never really seen anything like that.
Yeah, that's pretty uncommon as far as the first. It's because it's the last game I think in this game set. That's why I wanted to switch it up a little bit and make it a little harder, but it still was a little different. So that's interesting. But all right, let's go to question 19. Do you guys have any questions about that one, or do you guys understand the logic now? Okay, let's go to 19 then. So I'll give you a couple minutes to do 19, and then let me know when you guys are finished, and we go from there. Do you think you got it, Thomas, or do you need help?
I'm still looking at the answers again. I'm just very slow at this. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, sorry. I'll stop rushing you. No worries. Like I said, just
No, I'm sorry to drag on the class when.
no, you're good. Josh, you okay at the speed or no?
I'm sorry. What do you say?
Are you okay with the speed?
Oh yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay,
No
cool.
worries. No worries, Thomas.
Cool. Yeah, see, Josh is good with it. So you're good. Okay. No worries, Thomas. Take your time. Do you have any questions, Josh?
No. I think it's the first game that I've done that included numbers or numbers or something of this structure.
I think this is like I think I've seen this maybe once before. I'm trying to figure out where, but I know, but this is very uncommon as far as like I thought that was like game day, I'd be so angry. Like, yeah, like why? Like, in fact on LSAT day, but it's not terrible when you get over that,
I'm glad they didn't put Tuesday though, because you confuse like Tuesday and
Thursday. Fair. I know, yeah. And of course, they have your substitution rule for this one. All right, you good, Thomas?
Yes, thank you.
No problem. What'd you get?
I got B.
You got B? Okay. So I got the correct answer to be A. Is that what you got, Josh?
I got A. I can go through if you like.
Oh, go ahead, yeah.
So 19 says if the 3rd floor is on Thursday, which is fine, could be true. So I put Tuesday. I mean Thursday. See, there you go.
Yeah.
See, on Thursday I put 3. And then because of 375 rule, we know that it has to be 375, and that they have to be on separate days, right? They go on earlier days. So 7 goes on Friday, 5 goes on Saturday, and then from the problem, it tells us that 1 goes, or the first floor, or not answer choice A gives us the first floor goes on Saturday, so it's 3715. And then because we know that 71 are both.
Wait, what'd you do with 3715? Sorry, what'd you get?
Oh, so on Thursday, I put on Thursday. I mean, sorry, on Thursday I put 3.
Yes.
And
Doing
then
4
I put 3, 4.
on Thursday.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work actually.
Or because I got 2, 6, 3, 4, 7, 1, 5, 8. I don't know if that works.
3, 4 is not allowed actually.
Oh yeah, because they have to be separated. They can't go 2 days. So I got lucky.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so let's go over this then, Thomas. Right? Okay. So you want to put in. This is the first thing you do in these kind of questions is you put in that 3, right? So is that what you did first, Thomas?
Yes.
You put in that 3, And did you see it had to be 7-5 after that?
Yes, that's the second thing I did.
So then did you manage to get 4 on Friday?
No, I didn't.
Do you see why we placed that there? I guess so. Once I placed the 3-7-5, I then look for the next most restricted one, which I know 4 can
Oh,
only be in on Thursday or Friday. Because it can't be Thursday, it has to be on Friday.
right. I see what you're saying.
And it also helps us put 2 on Wednesday. Because I know 2 can't be on Thursday because it can't be a 3, and 2 can't be 5th, so 2 would have to be Wednesday too.
Gotcha. Yeah, I guess I just didn't pay enough attention to the rule that dictates that it
deductions.
can't be can't be consecutive in the same slot.
Exactly. So if you look at that, right? So we know the first floor examined on Sunday could be possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
1 could be here. There's no rules because we have 2, we have 8 here, and then 6 here, right? So that works. So second floor being examined on Friday is not possible because we already have 7 and 4 there, right?
Right.
6th floor examined on Thursday. 6th floor is examined on Thursday. If the 6th floor is Thursday, why can't it hit? 3rd floor is examined on Thursday. Oh wait, the 6th floor is on Thursday. Then let's see. So we know. Well, okay, here we go. So actually, we can figure this whole out. So actually, I make all the deductions I can. So the 6th floor can't be Thursday. You know why? Put 6 here. That means 1 would have to be on Saturday, and then 8 would have to be on Wednesday, and that's not possible, right? So we know 1 can't be here. We know 1. I guess 1 could be here. 1 could be here. So does it make sense why 6 can't be here though?
Yeah, because I mean 8 has to be after 2.
Exactly. And then 8 would have then because you put 1 there, or if you put 6 here, then 1 would have to be here for 8 to be here. It just doesn't work out. Rule 1, right? So let's go to 7th floor exam on Thursday. As we said, 7 is on Friday, right? 7 has to be on Friday. And 8th floor is examined on Friday. And we know that that's not possible too because we have 7 and 4 there, right? So I think about these ones, it's always plugging it in and then really looking really hard at your rules and saying, okay, which deductions can I make from this problem set? And then going from there, right? And once you find all those deductions, then plugging in the answer choices and looking at it quickly, and it'll go much quicker. All right. Josh, you see where you messed up?
Yeah, I messed up. Yeah, but I messed up. But I think I can redeem myself in the next question.
Okay, that's good. That's good. We'll let that happen. All right, go ahead. Thomas, you can work in the next one then if that works. Okay. And always for these this is a global game question, right? So this is kind of like anything could happen. I would always, when they ask you global game questions, like any of the following could be true, I would always go first in my deductions and see if any of these answers are like an answer to deduction, right? So like saying like 3rd floor exam on Thursday. Do I have that 3rd floor being crossed off on Thursday, right? Or like questions like that, I would check those first, then start diagramming, right? So let me know when you have this finished, Thomas. All right. We'll let Josh go on this one, and then we'll see. Do you want to get the answer, Josh?
Yes. So 20 is C.
Mhm.
If so, it says any of the following could be true except the 6th floor. The 5th floor is examined on Thursday, but we know because of the 375 rule, it cannot be Thursday.
Yep. Yeah. So does that make sense, Thomas?
Yeah, I had the same reasoning.
Okay, that's good. So do you see kind of where we get why those deductions are so helpful and can really speed up these kind of questions sometimes? That's what kind of why we do them. Cool.
So Michael, I wanted to ask quickly. So for questions like this, we shouldn't try to like pre-draw the possible boards because our deductions kind of do that work for us. Because I know sometimes I've seen some tutors, they do deductions and they draw possible situations. Some others just do deductions. And others what do you suggest for this?
I think for these kind of situations, I would not draw like for this question in particular, in this game in particular.
Or this game in particular,
Like
you wouldn't.
in the initial setup, I would not.
Okay.
I think the only time I do that is when I know there's two options for the game, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Like here, I know I can have a 3-7-5 here. If I knew three could either be in like if three can only be Wednesday, Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I knew there was only two options, like one of them was already guaranteed if three's there. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
But if there's too many options, too many variables in the initial setup, I don't think it's worth your time personally.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you, Michael.
No problem. All right, let's go over. Let's let you guys do 21. So the schedule for the air quality examination is fully determined if which one of the following is true. So this one, I honestly diagrammed wrong because it was a little difficult because it was like, okay, if I put this here, what's looking for if I put this one there, can I switch things around? So I would try to diagram these as possible. So you know that I would normally look at the ones that are like most restricted, but I don't know if that one works in this case. Do you have a question, Josh?
Oh, and also to say we can use our previous boards.
Yeah, well, we totally can too as well. I used the previous board in one of these actually. So yeah, you're right. All right. Thomas, do you want to go over this one then? Want to kind of explain what you got, what answer you got?
Yes. I think I put B as the answer. Also, I'm not sure how to check on Law Hub whether your answers are correct without like turning in the whole test.
Okay, so would you go exam or self-paced mode?
I'm on self-paced mode.
You should be able to just click it and press check your answers like that. Does that make sense? I'm actually not on Law Hub right now, but
Oh, okay.
Makes sense. The quick answer here is actually E.
Okay.
Do you want me to go? I'll go with the explanation then. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. So let's start with A, right? The second floor is examined on Friday, right? So here we know. So this first top one's kind of A. So I'll kind of clean it up a little bit, but right. Okay. So this top one's A, right? So we know 2 is on Friday, right? So if we know 2's on Friday, we know Saturday has to have 8 in it, right? And I kind of know, so I just kind of put 3, 7, 5, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I put 6 and I know that 4 can't be with 5, so 4, so I think 7, 4. And I just kind of said, okay, this one you can also move around the 6 and the 1, and there could also be options of moving around some other things, right? So you'd have 3, 7, 5 here as well, I think. And kind of you can't do 2 and 1, so I guess that doesn't work. But does that make sense how I proved that there's options here where there's 2 different options in this game set? So A is not correct then, right? So for B says the third floor is examined on Thursday, right? Or that was it? Third floor is examined on Thursday. Oh, actually, I guess I did that one wrong. So I think that's C, but okay. So let's go down here, right? Third floor is examined on Thursday, right? So if we know the third floor is on Thursday, we then know we have to have 7 and 5, right? After it, no matter what, right? So it's kind of like what we did last problem. So we know 4 has to be here, right? And from here, we could go, we know 2 can't be here, right? So 2 would have to be at the first spot. But here, we know 8 could be here, right? Then we could have 1 and 6. Or 6 and 1, right? So these 6s and 1s are interchangeable in this game in B, right? Does it make sense? So as soon as we know something's interchangeable, we know why they can't be that answer choice, right? So I hope that kind of clears that up. So let's go over the next one. Actually, this is C. So C, the fifth floor is examined on Friday. So if I know 4, 5's on Friday, right? This is one right here. So 4, 5's on Friday. I know we have to have 3, 7, 5, right? So 4 would have to be on Thursday. I can't put 2 on Wednesday, kind of same thing. So 2 would have to be on Friday. And I have to have 8 here. But once again, these 6s and 1s are pretty interchangeable because we have no rules about them, right? So because we have no rules about them, I'm leaning towards, okay, 6 and 1, actually, once we know the location of those, that might help us more than knowing the location of the other ones. So let's go to D. When I did mine, I was confused between D and E, right? So 6th floor is evaluated on the 6th floor is on a Thursday, right? So here there are so many different possibilities though, right? I could have 3, 7, 5, I could have 3, then 2 spaces, then a 7, then a 5, right? So because of our previous game boards, I can kind of eliminate this one because there's so many answer choices. So let's move on to E. So the 8th floor is examined on Thursday. So if the 8th floor is on Thursday, right? We then know 2 has to be on Wednesday, right? So if we know 2's on Wednesday, we know then that 3 has to be on Thursday, right? Because 3 can't be on Tuesday, or 3 can't be on Wednesday, so it has to be on Thursday, right? Then we know we have a 3, 7, 5 block. And because we know we have a 3, 7, 5 block, we know 4 would have to be in Friday, right? Because that's the rule. And we know 1 can't be here, right? So 6 have to be here, 1 has to be here. They aren't interchangeable in this game sense, right? So that's why E is the correct answer. Thomas, what do you think tripped you up there?
Well, basically I entered my numbers for B a different order. And for some reason it seemed to me like it was the only possible order.
That's fair. Did you try any other ones or just found the answer and moved on?
Well, no, I found the answer and moved on because like in the process of my entering the numbers, it didn't seem like I could enter them in any other order, but I just like didn't notice like a really obvious thing I could have swapped.
No, it's not obvious. It's just hard to it's hard to think of all those different ways. So try not to fall in love with one way unless you know, like, does that make sense? Like, it's like moving on is a good strategy for sure, though. Once you kind of guess, then you're kind of good. Josh, did you get this one right?
Yes, so I used our previous boards for 18 and 19.
Okay.
And then I got to the right answer.
Yep. So you kind of just use the process elimination, right?
Yeah, because like for example, like if the keyboard is fully determined, and so if we choose E, we choose E. Sorry, I'm looking at 22. We choose 21. E, we know that it has to be true because of our previous board that we did early on.
Yeah.
19 really helped here.
I agree. I think that was kind of the key one. So Thomas, once again, this kind of shows why having everything organized and together really helps you to kind of get a better sense of the game and use those and these kind of questions. Does it make sense?
Yeah. You mean
Cool,
with
cool.
the sort of grid setup that you have?
Yeah, with the kind of the going down one. I kind of know what I do. I just do it this way because it's easier on the diagram, but I think going kind of down, if that makes sense, right? Cool. And I think if you learn it that way, it's good that you're starting out here. So I think it's better to learn it that way than learn it another way and come to this system. So you find out this does work better normally, I'd say. So, all right, let's go to 22 then. So if the 5th floor is examined on Friday, which one of the following must be true? So go ahead and Thomas, and let me know when you guys both finished. All right, Thomas, do you want to explain? What did you give for the answer first, and we'll go from there.
Sure. I got D,
Okay.
which looks to be the correct answer.
Yep.
Basically, I put 2 on Friday, which meant that. Oh wait, sorry. I put 5 on Friday, which meant that 4 couldn't be there, which meant that it would have to be on Thursday. That meant 3 couldn't be on Thursday, and that it therefore had to be on Wednesday. That determined the 3, 7, 5 order, and meant that I had to put the 7 on Thursday with the 4. Then I couldn't put the 2 on next to the Wednesday, so I had to put it on Friday, which meant that the 8 was on Saturday. And then I got then I looked at the answers, and then I realized that the only variables that aren't necessarily true are the 1 and the 6. You can put them either on Wednesday or on Saturday. And the only one that sort of matches these criteria is D.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's exactly how you purchase them. Good job for getting there. It's kind of how, exactly how I did it. I found for these must be trues, I always put it in there and then go from there. Kind of like see what all the deductions I make, place in all the variables I know exactly have to be in those spots, and then look at the answer choices. And if I can't find it from there, then I know I messed up for some reason. So yeah, that's exactly how you're supposed to purchase. Any questions, Josh?
Good here. Thank you for asking though.
Cool. All right, well, let's move on to the last one though. This is my least favorite kind of question, but it's a substitution rule question. So I'll give you a couple minutes to kind of go through it, and then we'll go over the answer. All right, what did you guys get as the answer?
I
got
got A, hopefully.
So you got 2, Thomas.
Yes.
Cool. How, just do either of you want to explain how you got there? I know these ones kind of stuck explaining wise. It's just these ones they always go on a gut feeling wise kind of thing.
So for 3, so what I did when I think about this question, substitution questions, I think about which of the following of the answer choices would have the same effect as the rule, meaning that either 4 can either must be either Thursday or Friday. And the second thing I think about is making sure that any of the answer choices below don't affect the boards as we read them before, otherwise we don't have the same effect. So looking at 23A, I used our boards from 18, 19, and 22. And it seemed to check out like 4 and 7 must be either in the same day or as each other. So it had the same effect. It didn't affect any of the boards. And then the rest, they did, for example, like B, 4 floor cannot be an earlier day than the second floor, and or a day later than the 4th floor. But we know from our first board, I mean from the board we did in 19, 4 can go before 8. So that didn't work out. So that's what I did. But I think we were lucky. Unlike other substitution questions, you would have to write a little bit more, but here we were more lucky because the work was done for us, so we can look at it quicker.
Yeah. No, I think this one was an easier one. Do you agree? Well, I think both of you kind of agree with that, right? This was kind of okay. This one basically says, okay, we know 7. I think because of the deduction where 7 had to be on Thursday or Friday. I think the other ones just were too restrictive, whereas the 8th floor didn't necessarily figure into that at all, if that makes sense. So I think A was the correct answer because it was the easiest of the 4, the 5 answer choices, right? Does that make sense? It wasn't too restrictive.
Yes. And that's a good point you made too, Michael, making sure that it mentions like 4. If it mentions
like I feel like that's kind of restricting the 8th floor. It doesn't necessarily have to be there, like the 8th floor doesn't necessarily have to be before, the 8th floor could be Thursday, right? So I think it's the other ones just are kind of like smoke screens out there, I'd feel like. So Thomas, did you understand this one?
Yes, I did. Basically, I looked at the end after like mapping the rules and looking at the fact that 7 had the same restriction as 4, just by virtue of the fact that it's after 3 and before 5. I basically that answer stood out to me, and I looked at it and I tried to plug it in, and sure enough, it had the same effect.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I agree. So, any questions on this question, this game?